What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Dash today. D-S-D-A Dash. You know how to spell Dash, right? I can't say it, but I know how to spell it, I swear. Don't test me. Anyways, here we are. It is the 14th day of November. Here we are, $76 with 8 hours and 24 minutes left in the day. Perfectly. We called the low perfectly, my friends. I think that's the best way to describe it is perfect. Nothing less than perfect. And it does not stop here. It's nice. It's nice being up 20% in a day where Bitcoin is down. Bitcoin's down 3.2%. You're up 20%. It's nice, but it gets nicer. What we've done is nothing shy of spectacular formation as far as this chart structure goes, right? We had a massive, well, looked to be a distributive phase. This is distributive. We've broken out and proven that it was accumulative. Or maybe it was distributive, but there was some massive accumulation at the end there. Sent this thing up. You went all the way up here, found your resistance, came back down, found support at the same areas that you found resistance at before. And now you're having a proper reaction. Look at this week, right? We've got 2 days and 9 hours left in this week. 2 days, 8.5 hours left in this week. And we're coming back up. We've got a very big wick to the downside. We had a very big wick to the upside. What happened? We went lower. Well, we're going to have a big wick to the downside. What's going to happen? We're going to go higher. And again, just the idea of the structure here is that you back tested a significant area of resistance, a significant area that you just broke out of. You just back tested it and found support. We are finding support right now, unless today's a whiff and we tomorrow we give it back. I don't think that we will. We have a lot of reasons for expecting that we find support there, right? Primarily, we take this low here. Oh, that wasn't the low, but it's pretty close. Low to high, we went right to the 382. And the expectation was to go just below this 382, and that's exactly what we did. It's to a T. Watch any of my videos from the past week. We couldn't have called this any more perfectly, like genuinely. Anyways, I think I did, to be completely fair actually, I think I did say I was expecting a bounce right off of this level. If not, we could go below, but I think I was under the impression we'd bounce right off it. But whatever, we went just below. Who cares? Tomato, tomato, potato, whatever. We weren't perfect. Maybe we were like 98% of the way there. But anyways, looking at this weekly time frame, the fact that we back tested this, the exciting thing that I've been alluding to is that we've got a lot more growth to go. 20% in a day is nice. What about 400% over the next month? Huh? How does that sound? Because that's where we're going. That's likely where we're going. We're going to one of three places, okay? One, we're going here to this prior area of resistance here, right? Kind of in the middle of nowhere's land, but it makes sense to some degree. If we take a high to a low here, you know, that is also, oh, I thought that was in line with our 786. I lied, guys. We're not going here. This is actually not even, we're actually going to go higher. So our lowest end is actually above this. Our lowest end is here. Sorry, it's this high, and this low, not this high. I don't know why I thought it was that high, but it's this. The minimum target from here is $236. The maximum is all the way up here, and with the target in the middle there of about $323. I'm going to delete the fibs now, and we'll just see. Okay, from the current price of $77.44, the expectation is that we see a 200 to 532% growth. That's it. That's what we're going to do. Something between 200 and 500%, a 3x and a 6x. And I'm pretty confident we do go to that 886, something at like 320%, somewhere in between. But in this area, nonetheless, that's where we're going to go. Now, is it going to be a straight shot up? Is it just going to be a party the whole time? Probably, but there will be volatility along the way. There is going to be moments where we stop, right? We might ultimately go up here, but along the way find resistance at these various places, and then we top off there. You know that, or if we do top off at the minimum level, perhaps what we do is we find resistance at this area, right? Consolidate, find resistance there, you know, and then we double top, something like that, like whatever. However it looks, I do believe that we're going up to $236 to $477, somewhere in that range for Dash, okay? Very, very confident in that, right? This is coming from the guy who here was calling for a relative high, here was calling for us to move up, here was calling for a relative high, and here was calling for a move up as well at the lows, right? We've called this very perfectly. We look at this on a daily time frame. The RSI has lower lows. The price has higher lows. It's hidden bullish divergence, bullish engulfing candle here today. It's beautiful to see. The stochastics are right at the oversold zone, perfect area to bounce. The MACD looks bullish. We look at the weekly time frame, and you know, to be fair, okay, it's not bearish divergence actually. It's not bearish divergence. I thought that we had bearish divergence. I actually didn't see this. If we did have bearish, I'm glad I didn't see that because I would have made an incorrect call. The call should have been then that we go below $53. But thankfully, It's actually not bearish divergence. We have a higher high there. So a double top, nonetheless, though, is nothing to mess with. I mean, look at what that double top did to you. From a high to a low, in about a week's time, you dropped 60%, which is pretty standard. I've been saying it a lot this cycle that a 30 to 60% drop is pretty standard for crypto, even in the midst of massive moves, especially in massive moves, really is what I should say. But I think we've had it. We've done our drop, and now we're ready to go. Weekly RSI is super bullish. Okay, double top has done its thing already. 60% drop, I think, is more than appropriate for a double top in the weekly time frame. I mean, it's just crazy volatility. Stochastics are bullish overall, and the MACD is bullish as well. We've got higher targets to go. And we look at this from a monthly perspective. We take last cycle's high to the bear market low. We stopped right at the golden ratio. Okay, it's very common to go from the golden ratio to the 0.5382 area. This is exactly why we thought we'd go down here and then up. And when you go up, it's the 786, 886 area. That's why these are our targets. We could go all the way up to the 100 level. It is possible, but something most likely between $320 and $230, somewhere in this range, is the most likely outcome. It is the most likely outcome. I know that we had all three lines here, just like this before, but this little dot between $230 and $330, that is the most probable outcome to happen right now. It's very common to go from your 382 to your 236 to your golden ratio to your 0.5382 up to your 786, 886, and then back to your golden ratio and then back up. I'm going to forecast this right now, guys. Watch this. Mark my words, because we're doing this so well. We're doing this so well. And again, this all stems from the high to low, from last cycle's high to the bear market low. This is literally a, I don't know what to call it. Let's call it a Fibonacci schematic. Okay, it's a very common schematic. Doesn't mean that it happens 90% of the time or anything like that, but out of all the, let's just call them schematics, out of all the ways that we build our way up throughout these retracements, this is the most common one and the most ideal one, at least in my opinion, right? This is a very common one. So you go from the 382 to the 236, from the 236 then to the golden ratio. Then you bounce either here or somewhere in between, right? It's more of a zone. And then you go up to your 786, 886. It's more of a zone as well. Then you come back and you find support at the golden ratio. Depending on what you do, though, if you hit the 886, you might find support at the 786, depending on what you do, right? And if you find support at the 786 and move back up, you're breaking out. If you hit the 886 and you come back down through the 786, you're likely going to the golden ratio. If you stop at the 786, you likely come back to the golden ratio as well. It gets dicey, but you can see like the three different avenues of possibilities here, depending on where you stop. Basically, the idea is 382, 236, golden ratio, this zone, then up to the 786, 886, then back to this zone, and then up, right? Then up from there. We're mapping it out right now, you guys. This is what's going to happen, okay? Understand this is exactly what's going to happen. By the end of the year, Dash will be worth 234 to 330, if not as high as 470. So sometimes things get bullish. We'll pull back. We'll find support at either the 786 or the golden ratio, somewhere in between there, and then we will continue to rally going into the new year toward prices that are well above $1,000. Now, does Dash see new all-time highs is the question. Does it see new all-time highs? That's the question, because you could very well stop here by the end of the cycle. You could very well stop here by the end of the cycle, and you technically do get new all-time highs, but it's not anything cool. Do you get to $3,700? Do you get to higher targets than that, right? I'm open to all of these ideas. I'm the most open to anything that's between about $3,700 to $1,200 personally. As far as new all-time highs go, though, I want to see where we are by the end of the year. I don't really have anything else to say. I just wanted to come on here and celebrate with you guys. It's nice. It's nice whenever a plan comes together, and this one was executed very well. It's just so obvious, right? It's very, very obvious, and I hope that nobody got bearish at the lows. Bullish engulfing candle now. Just understand, this is a very obvious signal that we're moving up here. And I think this is very important what I'm about to say, okay? For anybody who's thinking about buying Dash. Mark my words, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I wouldn't be surprised if we pulled back to like $67, like we dropped $10 from here. And that doesn't mean that we do. I'm not calling for that. I'm just saying it could happen. Don't be surprised if it does. Whenever you get this, this is a very obvious bottoming signal from a very obvious area. And Dash being one of the only coins that's pumping today while everything else is red, you're up a dramatic bit. You got a lot of attention on you. So you're going to have weak emotional investors coming into you right now because they're selling their coins and coming into you. If you drop, if you see any volatility, you're going to shake them out again. Right, you're in emotional kind of environments. You're on shaky grounds here. You're not on shaky grounds as far as the chart goes, just maybe as far as your investor basis goes, your investor base goes. So if you see any volatility, just understand that's just there to shake people out. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Now, with that being said, get ready. This thing's going to rally. It's definitely going to rally. But look here, right? When we found our low, this was the low. Did we just rally immediately? No. What did we do? We went up, we went down. We went up, we went down. Verifiably putting in the low each time, but a little bit of volatility both times. Here, before we moved up, we saw a drop that was 24%, and then we saw another drop that was 24%. We saw, after finding our lows, we saw two 24% drops. If you don't think that from here, Dash can't drop 15% and then pump, you haven't learned anything, right? It can, and it likely does. Even here, when you found your low, look at this. From a high point here to the next day, you dropped 15% right there, 15%. I'm just saying, the low was verifiably in here. People had things to get excited about. Things were looking exciting, and everything else was bearish. Just like now, it creates a perfect environment for people to get wrecked. And don't wreck yourselves. My biggest advice, what I'm trying to say here really is, if you buy here, do not sell if it goes back lower. Just wait. It's going to go. All these prices that we just talked about, they're going to happen. They're going to happen. Just because it doesn't happen today or tomorrow or next week doesn't mean that it's not happening. Just be patient, right? I very much believe that the low is in. I don't think we go lower than there. If we go lower, then we can have something to talk about. But even then, you shouldn't sell. If you want to buy here, buy here. But just, if we shake out, don't freak out. Buy more or hold. Just hold. It's probably the best way to go. But understand, this is a starting point. This is a starting point of more to go. It doesn't mean that we're doing it tomorrow or the next day. It doesn't even mean that we have to be above this high by the end of the month. Although I think we will be. But we don't even have to be, right? But going into December, absolutely we will be. And going into the end of the year and going into later months, we absolutely will be moving up to dramatically higher prices. I don't have anything else to say. Bitcoin found its low. Absolutely, we're confident in that. Dash found its low. We're confident in that. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe, and take care of yourselves, all right?